If languages would really have a more profound impact on the way we perceive the world, learning new languages would then expand our perspective, right? After all, this is already one of the arguments given by many foreign language teachers as to why you should learn a foreign language. To which extent are these ideas true?
This is a concrete example of something that happens when you acquire a new language. I'm going to only be able to give you some very subjective answer here. So when I looked at this question, kind of a prospective question, my answer was absolutely right away. But there's a disclaimer here. This is purely subjective. I do not have evidence from science at all to provide. And I'm happy to say that. It's very important. You can have intuitions in science. It's not forbidden. What's forbidden is not to test them. And the second thing that's forbidden is to be biased when you test them. That is not to test them in a kind of impartial, neutral way. But I do believe that when you learn a new language, you change perspective. And the big problem here in this question is the covariance of the contamination or the co-manipulation of culture. It's almost impossible to learn a new language without learning the culture that goes with it, because they're so intimately interwoven. And so the idea is that when you've learned a new language, you're almost automatically acquiring aspects of a new culture. And of course, this is going to change your perspective on the world. I mean, how could it not? When you learn a new culture, you have new tastes, you have new conceptions, new moral compass, or at least an alternative to your existing compass. And you can say, oh, I would never do that. Or, oh, that's a nice idea. And then you can embrace it or reject it. But irrespective of that, it changes your state of being. With every new language, you vary your perspective of the world. That means that you enrich it. You have alternative conceptions. You have new ways of considering information. And that means that you're functioning at a higher level. This is the least acknowledged and the most obvious advantage of being a bilingual or a trilingual, is that you're acquiring a greater perspective on the world. Fundamental. And on top of that, it seems to provide some serious cognitive advantages beyond the richness of the representations. So my answer is yes, but I don't know for sure, because this needs to be established scientifically.